Hey, what's up? Good morning, good morning, good morning, folks. How's everybody doing? JT here with another Chart Talk Live brought to you by Xtrades. It is Thursday. Let me get my days of the week straight. Thursday, December 11th. Hope everybody is doing well. Let's see, let me get my screen sharing happening. YouTube's up and running. All right, I think I've hopefully checked all the boxes this morning. And let's get back over to ES. All right, and where's my chat? There's my chat. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you, aka Sydney. What's up, Navy Plum? What's up, New Trader? Good to see you all here. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's get copy link. Okay, sure. We'll take a look at Neo. All right, so let's get rolling here. Get back to the chat. What's up, Rooster? Good to see you. It's appropriate to have you here in the morning as we wake up and greet the day. All right. Yep, I'll take a look at everything. So let's dig in. Let's talk about it. What are we seeing here on ES as far as general market movements are concerned? Obviously, we got our quarter point cut to the interest rates yesterday with the FOMC decision and Jerome Powell's press conference. That overall sent the markets higher going into the close yesterday quite significantly, heading up very, very close to this recent top there with last Friday's high. So kind of looking like a little bit of a double top setup. That's probably why we rejected. Seems like a smart place to go ahead and take profits when you see this rejection lead to that kind of downside. Same thing here. We eked it out a little bit higher, pulled back a little bit lower, but ultimately have bounced here overnight and are continuing to push higher. As far as my sentiments on all this right now, things continue to look quite bullish and very much a buy the dip market ever since we broke out of this downtrend. It's overall been kind of an upward grind. Definitely had some consolidation and some, I think, you could even call that trepidation, trading with the markets trying to sort of anticipate and figure out how they want to position themselves for that interest rate decision. But overall, seems like that and the press conference were received well. Markets seasonality says that we should remain bullish on things. So for me, as long as we're holding above this 200 SMA here on ES at 68.55, that should overall keep things pushing toward the upside. Kind of have an area of buying pressure in here. So let me kind of draw this out real quick so it makes more sense. It's all, I could turn these into like a cloud or something like that, but if we look at sort of this area, right, between the 200 and the 333 as an area of buying pressure, we keep dipping into that and keep getting bought up out of it. We also have a nice confluence down here with the 333 key buying area as far as our NTS flag is concerned, all hanging out right around this 67.95 level. So as long as that's holding, that would certainly be my stop loss, or where I'd say, okay, maybe we need to start looking at some more downside to come. But as long as that's holding, and if we get a dip down to that level, that certainly could be a good buy the dip opportunity. I would also say if you do buy that dip down there, keep very tight stops on your positions. So that is kind of the market general analysis. And again, things overall trending to the upside, looking fairly bullish here. So let's get to some of our trade plan recaps, and then we'll work on some new ticker requests this morning. What's up, LB? Good to see you here. Glad to have you in the mix. All right, so MicroStrategy, MSTR, or God, I keep saying MicroStrategy because that's what they used to be called, strategy. This one had a real big pump there on Tuesday, LB. I hope you took my advice and booked some profits and put those stops in profits on this trade again. It made a great move, but it certainly looked extremely overextended to the upside when we saw that kind of a pump move right there. Ultimately pulled back down below, caught the 333 SMA, has now pulled all the way back to the put entry with some 200 SMA confluence. So if this 177.56 continues to hold going into the open, this could be an interesting buy the dip opportunity. I would keep a very tight stop on it there at 177.56, but this kind of looking like it wants to bounce going into the open today. We'll see. It certainly needs to get back above this 200 SMA and kind of this pre-market resistance sitting around 180.52. That would give better confirmation. But over that, it could try to make a move. Bitcoin down 2% though might be a little bit of a struggle for strategy to push like that. But we'll just have to keep an eye on it. But overall, again, good kind of a scalp opportunity. I'm surprised we didn't make it quite to that 199.77. I'm just checking to see if there was some level that I possibly missed, which is certainly possible. That would have had that as PT1. Risk reward was clearly very favorable, but I'm just wondering why it didn't kind of get that final push. Yeah, I guess I could see there being a level right there. Stop auto adjusting. Be right about here. Come on, get right there. Just want to see where that would put us. I don't know if we touched that or not, but yeah. So maybe I was just off in reading where the support and resistance was right here in this little bit of this area. So that's my bad. But again, move your stops into profits when you get those big pump moves like that, because they certainly can reverse just on being overextended and needing to. Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, you're glad I did. I'm sorry, I misread your statement there. So yeah, anyway, this one looking like a potential good buy the dip opportunity. So keep an eye on that, holding 177.56. Better confirmation again over that 180, call it 75 level. Could try to push up at least to the call entry. 333 sitting up there adding some resistance, so be mindful of that. 3M, this one has been trying to continue to push to the upside. It has really kind of been a little bit choppy, but overall looks like it's making higher lows and heading in the direction of PT1 here this morning. Good confluence up there though, so be careful at PT1. They're at 167.49, 333 SMA, bearish selling pressure on NTS, both sitting there right in the same spot at the same time. So I would just keep that in mind as you go forth and execute on this 3M plan. 167.49 would be a good spot to take some profits and aggressively move up your stops. CoreWeave, we did this one last Thursday, so this one's had a little bit of time to play out. Overall, it's been nothing but buy the dip mode. To the upside on this one, since it broke out to the call side of our plan from last Thursday, gave us the break above, back test, ran to PT1, consolidated below it for a little bit, pulled back down, caught that NTS key buy level, still above the stop loss average down there, so this remains an area of buying pressure while we are on, once we've broken through the call side of this trade plan. From there, it's continued higher to make a new high, tried to get to PT2 there before FOMC day yesterday, couldn't quite make it. What was the high there? 91.22, so 27 cents off. I prefer to be a little bit closer on those rejections personally for me to really call it a hit of that level, but Didn't quite get there, but it's come back, heading back toward the call entry here at 83.22. 200 is starting to cross over the 333 here pre-market, so that's something to keep in mind as well. This is showing some signs of flipping the momentum back to the bullish side and giving some nice support down there at 79.35. So keep an eye on CoreWeave. It might try to make some moves if it can hold 83.22 going into the open today. ASML, very choppy, very kind of sideways. If you've been scalping this or figuring out good ways to trade this one, congrats. I think LB made some money on it the first time he asked about it, but yeah, this one's kind of just been making weird, very choppy, almost looks like an EKG type move sideways, but keeps giving these fake outs below the put entry or fake out above the call entry. Overall, though, holding bullish, and as long as it's over 108, 1089.82, I think it continues to look quite bullish. For this to continue to push to the upside again, these folks have essentially the market cornered on lithography, which is how we print semiconductors. So they are in high demand. It's just going to be a matter of when the next leg up starts, because this certainly looks like big move up. Now we're getting some consolidation before it decides if it's going to continue or if it needs to pull back further. Certainly looks like it could continue. If we look at this bigger picture, just kind of looks like a giant bull flag, right? So keep ASML on watch, but I'd say, be very cautious about the levels that I have in this plan, because so far they have not really produced a hit on any targets once it looks like we've gotten a break either above or below our entry level. So definitely a challenging one, and one that I clearly need to spend some more time with. So last but not, whoa, why does Netflix look like that? There we go. We've got, oh, duh, Netflix. Why is it? That's weird. So we had this kind of call side trade plan. Kind of felt like that was really, we did that mostly because that's all we had time for. Looked like it was going to be good as long as it could hold that 103.09. Clearly that did not happen. We did this plan Thursday, broke down below that, caught that as resistance, ultimately rejected down. Now it's below and testing as resistance, prior all-time highs here at 94.16. So Netflix looking pretty bearish at the moment. I'm sure quite a lot of that has to do with this whole debacle around the Warner Brothers purchase. So I think once all that gets sorted out or becomes priced in, I'm sure that Netflix will have a solid run. Certainly looks like a very good buying opportunity to me on a retracement back to all-time highs, especially with 52-week highs sitting right around 134. That's a good chunk of upside, almost 50% before you get to the current 52-week high. So there we go. Those are our trade plan recaps. Let's get to some new trade plans. New trader in here wanting to take a look at NEO, so we'll start with that. What's up, Gardle? What's up, Kiski Boy? What's up, Daily Bull? What's up, Capo Bastone? Spy, please. Spy, we do a daily spy plan. So if you have another ticker request, please feel free to share that. But generally, there's a daily spy plan every day, so no need to plan it here, right? All right, let's take a look. It's been a while since I've looked at NEO. NIO. I say NEO, you say NIO. No, I think most people say NEO. Sounds cooler. Get this chart cleaned up real quick. All right. What? That's weird. There we go. All right. Let's see. Where does this look good to make some moves? Five, 200 SMAs are also sitting right there. Let's see. So that's going to be our entry. Looks like it's going to be a good stop loss there at 504. Let's make sure I'm not missing any levels again like I did with an STR. Hmm. I'm probably really splitting hairs here, but if there is a level there, it's probably sitting right about 548. Over that, hmm. Yeah, I think we're looking at 570. And over that, could see a decent move up to about, yeah, right here at 597. No, that doesn't seem like big money, but from a percent gain standpoint, pretty solid. So the downside, where does that really open up? There's a gap down still to be filled below 490. Could make for a good entry. Although that's really not a great, kind of a small window of opportunity there, to be honest. Let's go back here a little bit. I want to double check this. Yeah, the more I think we need to wait for that gap to fill and continue lower, actually. Let's see where this level's at. Back here. Yeah. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. What am I looking for there? Stop loss for this downside plan. Probably sitting, yeah, right about here. 494. Downside targets. Yeah. Definitely would want to have some profit taking here. What are you doing? There we go. At 458 and down to 445. Third target. Yeah, I think this level's just a little bit off or shifted. Right about there at 428. Let's see, I fucked up 2 pixels. There we go. All right, so let's map this out. 525 up to 548, 570, and 597. Stop loss average out at 504. Put entry 79 takes us down to 458, 445, and 428. Stop loss average. Whoops. Come on, man. 494. There we go. All right, that looks good. Let's get this polished up and we'll be ready to go. All right, where is my chat window? There we go. Here comes your Neo. Got myself saying the wrong way. And we'll get this into the elite chat. And let's save this template. Cool. Yes. Set our alerts. That looks good. All right, we're ready to rock. Let's talk through this one last time. What are we looking for here on NEO? We're looking for a break over 525 that should bring price targets at 548, 570, and 597 with a stop loss average down at 504. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 479 that should bring targets at 458, 445, and 428 with a stop loss average down at 494. There you go. Let's roll. What do we have next? Dash. Oh, sorry. I looked right past that, didn't I? Sorry, Ryan. My bad. Did not intentionally mean to ignore you there. I just missed it. Dash. Dash? I've never charted before. How about that? This will be fun. All right, let's do it. Big drop on that last earnings. If TradingView's information can be trusted, not awful, but certainly not good. All right, so where's that rejection? Hang on, let's zoom out a bit here. Yeah, there is a level sitting right about there that it rejected. Missed that. It's clear as day, right there. Okay. Yeah. Watching that level. And that one. Mm. And I know I'm getting into the weeds up here, but since I'm here, I want to take another look at. Let's make sure we don't have anything hiding right there. All right. Mm. Where are you hiding? Ah, right about there, isn't it? Yeah. Right there. Okay. I think we're pretty good, or getting close to being pretty good on these daily levels. Let's see. I definitely watch that level. This is an interesting. Looks like it gapped down hard and then just got bought right back up. Probably did create another little off that level. So kind of a little range there, if you will, more than a singular support or resistance level. Oh, didn't mean to move that. All right, let's start breaking this down. Let's see. Guessing this is all-time high, so we'll want to mark that just so we're aware of it. All right, let's head to the hourly and let's get this plan sorted. Does look like it's trying to roll some things over back to the downside here. Definitely have an interesting level sitting right about here, below which I think puts become an attractive proposition. Let's see, 219.53. Yeah, use that as our stop. First target I would certainly have down here near this confluence with the 200 and the 333 both sitting right there at 207.64. Yeah, there's definitely a smaller time frame level right in here at 201.90. Want that to be a good spot to take some profits. Yeah, and then the last target right about there. Maybe a little bit higher actually. Right about there. 195.11. All right, where does upside get some interest? Oops, I don't want to lose this spot. Right about here. Yeah. All right. Let's use it. So my last question is, do we tighten up this PT1 at all? The answer is yes. Second target. Right there at 234.54. And then, yeah, we do finish off the move right about here, 238.24. So some tough sledding up there above PT1, lots of resistances, kind of all stacked up, small moves, but profitable moves nonetheless. So let's dial this in. Cool. All right, from nothing on the chart to a fully matured trade plan in no time flat. Let's go. Copy link. Here comes your Dash live stream plan. It's in the chats. Good morning to everybody who's joined since we got rolling. Hope you all are doing well. We're just finishing up our trade plan for Dash. I think we've got time for one more plan. If there's any more ticker requests, please feel free to go ahead and drop those in the live stream chat while I finish up this trade plan. All right, let's talk through this and then we'll do one more before I have to go get to work on the daily spy plan. So what are we looking for here on Dash? We're looking for a break over 223.70. That should bring targets at 230.05, 234.54, and 238.24 with a stop loss average down at 219.53. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 215. That should bring us down to 207.64, 201.90, and 195.11, sharing a stop loss average down with that upside trade plan there at 219.53. And again, make sure that you are taking profits and moving up your stops as you continue through those price targets. What's up, Thug Baby Yoda? Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Like the name, looks so fancy. CEO of all moderation. Hope you're doing well, man. Good. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. All right, so we did Dash, we did Neo. Do we have another ticker request, folks? Come on, drop one in the mix. Where's Chris? Chris hasn't been in these for a while. I need him back in here so he can tell me what to chart. USAR. Never even heard of that. Let's see what it is. Rare earths. Okay. It's got volume. Oops. Yeah, I've never looked at USAR before. Did just clear out over the SMAs that were clearly pushing things to the downside there. Alright, let's see if we can't figure out what we want to do with this. Rare earths. There is only one earth, so it is pretty rare. What am I doing? There we go. Have a level that we'll want to watch there. Looks like it's been kind of a dead name that's come to life all of a sudden. I'm guessing with all the trade war shit and US having to figure out what it's going to do about rare earths if China tells us to pound sand or makes us pay dearly for said rare earths. There's a little level right there. All right. Interesting double bottom down there at 1155. Yeah, there's definitely a level there. Let me hide this for just a second. That's some of the indicator in my way, trying to spot where this level is or if there is a level here. I'm surprised there's just not something more to help prove that that $8 level is a good one to watch. So I'm going to leave it alone for now. And we're going to have to go to some smaller time frames to figure out what's above us. So let's get moving. All right. Okay, let's see here. So, how do we want to skin this cat? No offense to any cat lovers out there. Liking the idea of an entry over this 1891 level. The only question for myself is, am I gonna pull a MSTR and I think it's sitting right there. Yeah, I'd go ahead, take some profits there. Again, I'm probably splitting hairs a little bit. Could go as far as 22.17, but let's go ahead and make sure that we're booking some profits. And on up to 23.32, and then over that, this 4-hour level might be a little bit lower actually. Right about there. Yeah, right about there at 25.41. Stop loss average down at yeah, probably right about here at 17.18. Okay. So, got that in place. Whoops. There we go. Downside plan. Where does that get interesting? Pretty clearly. Well, take that back. Could run it. Yeah, let's give that a shot. Kind of going to be a tighter setup on this one, but I think still tradable and should provide good risk reward. We are running short on time here, Serge, but I'll post something for you in the chats. Both of those may be slightly longer term holds, but I think they're both going to do very well in the not too distant future. Of course, man, of course. Damn it. That. All right, so we're looking for a break over 1891, take us up to 2169, 2332, and 2541. Stop loss average down at 1718. Shared stop loss there at 1718. All right, cool. Let's get this set up, cleaned up. All right, here we go. Here comes the USAR live stream plan. Brother, I am a Weeble bag holder at the moment. In fact, I just continued to add to my share position on it, but think I still have a few dollars to go before I'm back to break even. Like I think my average is around like 12 and some change or something like that. So yeah, I'm bullish on it long term. I'm really surprised it's been suppressed this long. And I use their platform personally. So, Warren Buffett says buy companies you like. I happen to like their platform. All right. So let's get this locked in. Screen. Yes. And what? Oh yeah, alerts. Cool. All right, let's go. Let's talk through this one last time. What are we looking for here on USAR rare earths? We're looking for a break over 1891 that should bring targets at 2169, 2332, and 2541 with a stop loss average down at 1718. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 1617 that should give us targets at 1502, 1399, and 1253 with a shared stop loss average down with that upside trade plan at 1718. All right, folks, we are getting close to 10 minutes out from market open. I do need to go get to work on that spy plan so I can get it posted in the elite chat that's coming at you here shortly. So, as we always say here when we wrap up these Chart Talk live sessions, plan your trades, trade your plans, go out there, get some green. Remember, we're looking for profits, not perfection. So keep those wins big, keep those losses small. Go out there, execute these plans. Have a fantastic day. I will see you all in the chats, and I'll see you back here next Tuesday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, take care.